It tells us we're live, Adam. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. It is 2021, Friday, January
Yeah,
20th.
the first
January
one
8th.
of the new year.
Drop the ball. January 8th, 2021. There you go.
This is the first one. Can we make this
Yeah.
one pretty good? It would be nice.
Absolutely. We're starting it off with a bang.
So now I'm listening to myself echo through this phone.
I can hear you. You sound great.
If it is Friday, what does that mean?
It appears it's time for the Vincent Brothers, Vincent Esquire, like and share, learn a little with a guest who's going to help people learn more than they otherwise would.
Right. So like we typically do to make this more interesting, we bring someone else on so they don't have to hear from us. We're excited. One of the things Adam and I hear about with these real estate conferences is everyone's trying to teach everyone else how to build credibility, how to make your emails responded to by brokers, phone calls answered. And since we don't really know either, we brought one on who's a very nice guy, Peter Grealis. So we're going to bring him on in a second to kind of hear about what he does, how he vets folks that he's looking to work with. And I don't know. What do you think? You want to bring him on?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Here he goes. And boom, there's Peter. Peter, welcome. How you doing?
Afternoon, gentlemen. Adam, Paul, how are you?
Good.
And we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Peter.
I don't know how we got connected a couple months ago, but we appreciate your being convinced that this was worth your time.
Oh, of course. Well, I think what convinced me was two simple words that came out of your mouth: happy transactions.
That's right. That's what we try to do. And
I'm serious. We're in this business to make some money, but at the end of the day, if we're not enjoying ourselves, forget about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
And why don't you? Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got where you are today. And,
happy to. Yeah. Peter Grealis, part of the Cooper multifamily team at Colliers International. We're a 3-member team. Myself, Anthony DeMarco, Gary Cooper's our team leader. Combined 40 years of experience, over $2 billion in transactional volume. Average deal size is 134 units. Focus on workforce housing throughout the Midwest. So as you can imagine, we're extremely busy.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And are a lot of your assets Midwest? What kind of range is that? Where do you guys move product?
So, obviously Northeast Ohio is our bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got quite a bit of extensive knowledge in any Ohio market, specifically Cincy, Dayton. Columbus is a bit of an anomaly. It's not like other markets in Ohio. At least from a multifamily, actually from a real estate perspective, it's very different. But we do some deals down there. Toledo, essentially any market in Ohio, we bring value and we do deals. It's an interesting time to be in apartments, and it's an interesting time to be in apartments in the Midwest. I think every seminar call I've been on in the past 2 quarters, it's all about what's happening in markets like Cleveland, Indianapolis, Columbus, Detroit, and it's the playing field's getting more and more crowded, right? It's not just us Clevelanders trying to buy 10 caps anymore. It's New Yorkers, it's folks from New Jersey, it's Texans who are happy with 6, 7 caps. So we're seeing compression, but again, as a broker, I love it. And again, we're super busy, and I think we're poised to be really busy here in 2021. Okay. Now, most of what we focus on are 50 unit and above deals, from a buy or sell side. I know not everybody's in that sphere, if you will, sure. But I think a lot of what I look for in buyers translates across the board. If you're looking for 6 units or if you're looking for 600 units, a lot of those boxes that one can check to actively engage with someone like me or our team, to get our attention, if you will, a lot of it's the same. Understand your markets. And I mean, we can go on and on, but that's kind of where we're at. But that's kind of an overall of our team. Yeah.
Good. Hey, you mentioned, just for folks listening, the Columbus market being different. Can you just describe some of the distinctions between, Columbus markets or similar markets to Columbus that maybe even are outside of Ohio, and then just some of the other markets you're working in, some things you can do there that you can't do other places, and vice versa?
Sure. So, and again, I'm not extremely knowledgeable about Columbus. I haven't done a lot of deals down there, but it's extremely tight. I know cap rates are lower down there than they are up here. There's a lot more deal volume down in Columbus.
Sure.
I love Cleveland, but gosh, these landlords hang on to these properties for a long
Absolutely.
time. That's a big challenge. Is you've got multi-generational landlords that just don't want to let go. So there's a lot more turnover. There's a lot more deal volume down in Columbus, and it's just a different city. I mean, the population is continues to grow. It's the only city in Ohio where population is literally growing, and it's you're looking at 60, 70, 80 a door down there, and that's been happening for quite a while. We're starting to see those numbers up in Cleveland, but that's something we're starting to see. We started to see in 2020. 2-3 years ago, if you would have heard of someone paying 60, 70 a door in Lakewood, you're crazy. But now, if you want to get into that market, and a lot of people do, as we all know, that's what you're paying.
Yep.
Good news is you can still make money at those numbers.
Yep.
Right.
That's right. Rents are good.
So,
can you give us a few examples of characteristics you like to, you like in buyers? Like you're like we are. You like working with people that make the transaction, better than maybe otherwise it would be. What are some characteristics? What do you like about working with people that you've never met before that are reaching out to you about deals?
It's always nice when I get a phone. I mean, I love introducing someone to Cleveland or to the Midwest, right? It's exciting to kind of break someone in, if you will. But it is encouraging when someone does have some limited knowledge of what goes on here.
Sure.
And expectations. There's nothing worse, and I get calls all day from folks looking for off-market deals. Okay, getting and we bring. We've got plenty of buyers. We've got great relationships with that. We do bring off-market deals too. There's no doubt about it. If they need to understand that you're not going to steal anything anymore. Right. Again, when I'm getting calls from New York and New Jersey, and these folks are extremely excited about 5 and 6, 7 caps, the Clevelanders, the Northeast Ohioans, they're used to 10, 11, 12s. Those days are long gone. So I think someone who has some realistic expectations, a tertiary knowledge of the market, and understands how competitive it is out there. Those are things that, if you're realistic with me, I'll be realistic with you and be happy to work with you.
I think it's important.
Yeah. What would you attribute the excitement from, right? I mean, what do you think it is? Do you think it's education, access to education? I was just at a conference, 10 minutes ago. Do you think that has a lot to do with it? I mean, why is it that obviously folks from the coast are coming out here, even like Israel and all over the place, because they do know those cap rates are out here. But what do you think? Why do you think there's this increased volume of contact?
Great question. I think some of it has to do with, for example, rent controls, right? New York's a rent control state. California's a rent control state. When you've got the mayor of New York City telling its residents don't pay rent, it makes it pretty tough to be a landlord.
That it's hard to collect.
Yeah, simple things like that. It makes a look at a market like Cleveland kind of a no-brainer.
Sure.
I think also folks. So this is pretty wild. 90% of our buyers on our deals come from New York, New Jersey, and Philly. 90%.
Wow.
9% come from Ohio.
Dang. That's
the rest are, 0.25% from California, 0.25% from Texas, It's pretty stunning numbers. But I think the familiarity and the similarities, if you will, between a market like Cleveland and New York, obviously they're very different cities, but in a lot of ways they're similar, as opposed to a New Yorker who's trying to get into the Dallas market. I think proximity, we're an hour away from New York City, is a huge thing. And I think folks are just starting to realize that there's a good amount of low-hanging fruit in Northeastern Ohio, in the Midwest. And if you're an experienced operator, you can afford to overpay to get into the market and still come out winning.
Yep, sure.
And again, folks from New York, their eyes light up when I say 6 cap, 7 cap, and they're already on a plane coming here. So I just
wire the money. Yeah.
But Paul, I think you make a good point. I think there's also just an educational exposure standpoint to it, right?
So much more access to content now. You can feel pretty confident you know what you're doing after talking to you, then searching the internet for a while. I think the barrier to entry is so much lower than I would expect it was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, but you look like a real genius if you were buying apartments up in Cleveland 10 years ago, though, right?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Another huge thing for us is kind of a no-brainer. You got to be a closer, right?
Sure.
You don't necessarily have to have closed with us, right? Because the whole point of this discussion is introducing new buyers, or how do new buyers approach brokers. But tell us about yourselves. I can't tell you how many times I've asked someone just to share a little bit of information about their group, and they get offended. Obviously, real estate's not for you. Tell us about yourselves. What have you done? And prove to us you're a closer. Prove to us that you're worth our time. And we'll try to do the same to you.
Yep. No, I think that's great. I think making the call, trying to build up a relationship, at least have a number of conversations is big. And I think people want to, obviously, ideally, you skip over all that stuff. But how do you expect some person you're calling up from Colliers in Cleveland to really give you time of day if you're not going to give them time of day, right? So it's just kind of take that time. Don't be offended. They're not, the broker's not trying to blow you off just because they ask for a little bit of background. They just want to get to know you and get to know what your company's doing and what you need.
As a broker, all I have is my time.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Paul's over here, billing $1,000 an hour.
All day, absolutely.
As a broker, all I have is my time, and every year in the business, I value that more and more. Mm-hmm. But yeah, again, and Adam, you went back to relationships. Our team leader Gary is all about relationships and all about being nice. Again, back to Paul's happy transactions.
Right.
We're very knowledgeable. We're fantastic at what we do. Gary is like an encyclopedia of apartment buildings. It's incredible. But at the end of the day, if you're not nice, if people don't like working with you, if you don't respect them, they're not going to come back. They're not going to do deals with you.
Right.
So we pride ourselves on that. I mean, it may sound a little corny, but I think it goes a long way.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been focused on that kind of, interaction for a while, and if you're, not gasping when the lawyer calls, that's a good sign, So that's kind of what we go after. So,
yeah, we just closed on a pretty big deal out in Euclid, 949 units.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a biggie, real biggie. It's going to provide us a lot of momentum into the coming year.
Is it momentum? Is that the word you're looking for? Is that what we're calling it?
Amongst other benefits.
That's right. Momentum.
That's awesome. Right. So we do the deal. We get the PR out. Right. Rah. We call from New York. Blah blah blah. What we're also doing, what I'm specifically doing, is I'm reaching out to the folks that either toured and submitted, or just signed up, or just signed the NDA. But folks that didn't win, right? And I'm calling them. you wouldn't believe the reception I get when I call. First, it's very standoffish. Why are you calling? What do you want? Is it still available? And it's like, no, we're in a contract that the building has sold. But I just wanted to call you, get your feedback, and see if we can get some more opportunities in front of you. And that's paying off in spades. I mean, it's a simple callback to the losers, if you will. It goes a long way.
Well, what a great warm lead. It's someone that put an offer in on a 1,000-unit complex. Like, that's a good start.
Exactly. I'm happy to call that person. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're happy to receive the call from us because oftentimes, I mean, shoot, this is a big deal, tens of millions of dollars, and sometimes folks submit offers and they don't even get a yes or a no. They just don't.
It's so bizarre. Yeah.
That's just not how we do business.
Yeah. No, I think the industry is going to start turning more towards that, being actually more customer service oriented than maybe. I've not been in commercial for, decades, but I was shocked at kind of the behaviors of a lot of the agents, just kind of ignoring the call or being grumpy as hell about everything. It's crazy. So that's good. It pays off. Being nice pays off.
I spent 2 years at the beginning of my career. I spent 2 years selling homes for Keller Williams.
Sure.
And say what you will about residential agents, I learned a lot of customer service in that world. I learned to deal with a lot of drama that you necessarily didn't deal with in my world, and I think it helps my business now, right? If I can handle and this may get some hate here, but if I can handle the wife freaking out about the color of the bathroom,
boom.
I can handle anything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They didn't see that. They didn't see that crack on the ceiling of the garage last time they were there. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. No, I think if you get some background that helps you build patience and build your problem solving skills, I think no matter what the industry is, I think that's huge. And obviously, residential can do that. You also have some other. We were talking earlier a little bit about your other work background. Talk a little bit about when you were working out in LA and some of the things you learned and how that's kind of transferred over, where you've seen some connections there in your private life.
I've been in real estate for almost 6 years now, so not that long. My prior career was marketing and advertising. Graduated with an English degree.
All right.
English nerd, another English nerd.
That's why we had to find jobs outside of it.
But yeah, moved out. Grew up a skater punk in Westlake, Ohio. So moved out to Los Angeles. A buddy of mine and his now wife. He was out there in music school. She was out there in design school. All in our early 20s. Graduated from Loyola in Chicago with an English degree. Who knows what the heck I'm going to do? Let's go out to Hollywood. So was out in LA for about 6 years and was very fortunate to land my first job out of school at a startup company, a glove company called Ironclad Performance Wear. Ed Jager, if you're out there, I love you.
He's probably watching. I bet he's watching.
Yeah, for sure. He was the founder and very much still a mentor of mine today. But I got to learn a heck of a lot on that job from a business perspective, but from a marketing and design perspective, and kind of rolled that into a design career from that point. Came back to Cleveland and spent, probably close to 8 years either freelancing or working full time for either clients or ad agencies. So I was an ad guy for 12 years, but I think it's huge. It's huge in my world. Certainly in the commercial world. Again, I don't mean to continue to harp on our industry, but it's just funny when commercial brokers don't understand the value of good photography.
Oh my God! Right.
Yeah. Of good marketing. That's one thing that our team leader Gary Cooper is it's part of the reason he brought me on is my understanding of marketing, of branding, and how powerful that is. It's several years out in California, came back to Cleveland in 2007, and here I am.
It's wild. Oh, sorry. If you go on CoStar, you know, if you go to 100 listings on there, people are spending thousands of dollars, you know, to have those accounts, and then it ends up being like an iPhone picture of like the exterior from the dude, you know, that took it across the passenger seat in his car, and then like something of an office that makes, you know, it's a multifamily. Super strange.
Yeah. You know, and at the end of the day, it's for the most part, it's ones and zeros, right? It's all about cancel out. But I mean, we can't underestimate the importance of branding and of building a brand, certainly around the team, right? Around what we do.
Right. Sure. But yeah, if you if life and a lot of life is sales, it's tough to do it with a 1-page PDF, you know, with, like Paul said, a single photo and all that. So so especially on large deals, it's like, take that time.
I mean, we put together, broker opinion of values that, so we'll meet with ownership and essentially put together a document that details what our team thinks their building's worth. These BOVs are 80, 90, 100 pages long. So it's, and a lot of it's comps, a lot of it's ones and zeros, but there's a fair amount of marketing that goes into it as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, it's good. That's good. And you go and you talk about marketing, you talk about sometimes job history and things like that. And it's funny, being English majors, you hear a lot of what do I need this for when you're in like an English class or philosophy or whatever high school class kids say that in. But it builds up, right? Like that life experience, you don't know where it's going to come out later on. You were an ad man for a long time. You probably didn't think, I can't wait to put this to use selling multifamily in Northeast Ohio, right? I doubt that crossed your mind. Might have, but
Never.
I think it's important to realize that. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's important though. That stuff comes around.
Really exciting time to be in multifamily. It's a really exciting time to be in multifamily in the Midwest. And I'm one that will, again, if you come across professionally, again, it's relationship driven, right? We're not going to become best buds, and we're not going to be doing deals overnight. It takes time. So I'd ask folks, just to have some of that, patience. I get a lot of calls a day. Everyone wants off market value add. Really,
we're very good friends. We're very good friends.
Really. I love this question. When someone asks me, we're looking for value, I'm looking for a value add deal. Oh, well, what's your value add? They really.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So it's here are some wild things. Rent growth in Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland never tops lists, and I know we're getting short on time. Cleveland never tops lists, right? We're always at the bottom of the list.
A little bit sad, yeah.
Right.
Right.
Rent growth, multifamily. Q3 up to Q3 2020. Who's the number one on the list?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
And Browns in 2021.
That's great, man.
That's awesome. Yep.
Cleveland, number 2. Sacramento, number 3. Phoenix, Tampa, Philly, Vegas, Salt Lake City. Who's on the bottom of that list? San Francisco, San Jose, Austin, New York, Boston, LA, Chicago.
Wow. It's cool, man.
Another answer to why folks, to your question, Paul, as to why folks are looking in the Midwest.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's it. It's all about having a good broker, doing the searching for you. So we really appreciate you coming on. We had a cool picture we need to show, but I don't want you to be late for your next thing, unless you want to look at it real fast. Do you got 30 seconds to talk about it?
I have 4 minutes, Paul.
Oh, we got plenty of time. All right, we're going to bring it on. So we're going to call this Descript the Pick. What do you want to call it, Adam? Something.
That sounded great.
Bring up a picture.
What are you guys setting me up for here?
Well, we're just going to look at some all right, here we go. Let's see if you can see this. All right. So why don't you tell me and Adam and the people watching, the thousands upon thousands watching, what is this we're looking at here?
That is my home. So I live in an old log cabin in Bay Village, Ohio.
It's cool.
It was a property I bought out of foreclosure in 2008. I was living at East 36 in St. Clair. My dad calls me, who was a residential builder. He's retired, so he's got nothing to do. He called and said, "Peter, I'm looking at a house in Bay Village. You should think about buying it." what? And I grew up in Westlake, not married, no
It
kids.
doesn't look like a Westlake house. Yeah.
I was just like, why would I want to be in Bay Village? He said, Peter, it's a log cabin. You need to come take a look at this thing. I drove up, and it is, man. So it was a home that was moved there in 1910 from a woman who lived on Millionaire's Row. She had closed out her grandfather's estate in Wapakoneta, Ohio, which is just south of Toledo. Moved this house there, and it served as a lake house for about 50 years.
That's awesome.
I was fortunate enough to be able to buy it out of foreclosure in 2008, and I've been there since.
That's sweet.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm pretty lucky. It's really, really cool, and I'm never selling that cabin. That thing
No way, man. Yeah, that's cool.
No. So, yeah, of course, the PR freak I am, I reached out to Cleveland.com and said, hey, I have a cool space. Give me a call. So
it's good. It's really good, man. Well,
I mostly just wanted the high-end photography. That's all I really wanted.
that's right. These are framed all over your house. That's perfect.
So much fun in real estate. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Peter.
I guess if I could leave with anything, it's, I work with buyers. That's the role on our team. I'm the buyer guy. So, I'm happy to take calls from folks. Actually, that's what I do. That's what I'm supposed to do. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'll give anyone a chance and look at growing any relationship.
That's awesome. How do people get in contact with you?
They can shoot me. So email's best.
I'll put your email on this Facebook thread so people can.
Yeah. So I left Facebook 2 years ago.
You're smart.
That's cool. I was just I would leave in a worse mood than when I entered that stream.
You seem like a cheerful person.
I'm on Facebook, but call me, email me, LinkedIn. I mean, all of the above. And if you guys could share that content, that'd be fantastic.
We'll do that, man. Well, we really appreciate you coming on.
Guys, my pleasure.
And we look forward to doing some more biz with you. We'll definitely, when things lighten up here, we'll take you out for lunch. We did connect up.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Peter.
Sounds good. Adam, Paul.
Enjoy the weekend.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Adam, stay out of trouble.
Same to you.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not too much. I think I was great. Peter and is like kind of guy, kind of the type of person we like to work with, and said a lot of things. I think we share some common viewpoints there with trying to problem solve, trying to build relationships, and execute on happy transactions. Yeah,
and kind of the underlying thing with anybody we really talk about in this show is it's they're people we have relationships with, and it all kind of ends the same way. Everybody's kind of input is, let's build a relationship together, because that's that's everything, and that's the best way to be top of mind.
Yep.
So
work
you
and
make the call on a Friday, with the expectation they're going to give you the hot lead of the off-market deal.
Right. You're
gonna sound like
work and patience and time for sure. Takes work and patience and time.
Oh, cool. Kevin, Daryl, thanks a lot for joining on. We actually had a few people watching, so that's good.
Hey, all right. The Cleveland firm.
Hey, Marie, what's going on? Look at that. We got, look at humans.
Happy New Year, Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy and Greg, always.
Always.
Good for you guys, of course. All right, buddy. Well, you have a good weekend.
You too.